Hey, hi family. Uh, Excitingly, I've been sitting here like Memento, just staring at this remote, trying to figure out those two buttons, trying to figure out one says Android, which is what I have, but it doesn't work. I have to use the other one. Anyway, hi. Um, I am set up here for this shoot, but I wanted to talk about the two coffees. And I wanted to talk about blooper videos because I was just shooting one basically. And I wanted to talk about tarot, probably. It'll probably come up. I have this board game here out in case it does come time to play. But meantime, I have 2 cups of black coffee. And we're going to play some tarot. But first, I know a lot of channels do this. Channels do this little channeled messages. And so I have my little book here. And so today's channeled messages that I've written down in my book, various times I've had this book. One of them is right here, and it's a little, the camera's over there, so hopefully you can see it on a TV or your phone or whatever. But it's a cute heart, and it says heart. And then here is a mysterious date I wrote, and I didn't write why, so it says date of unknown event. And then underneath that I wrote, let the right one into your heart. That's always good advice. And then it's a little picture of a beaker, and it says mind, because that's another important part of your consciousness is your mind. And then here I made a little diagram of the wise mind, which I learned about in therapy and groups and stuff. And it's, sorry, I just distracted myself. I just saw I have a lot of blue paint on my on my hand just from moving that painting. But anyway, wise mind is in between your reason and your emotion. And you can think of it like, I like to use Star Trek. And so you've got Captain Kirk, right? And he's the captain. He's supposed to be in wise mind. It's debatable or not, but you can watch reason and emotion both go for him. And Dr. Bones, of course, has both reason and emotion as well, but he's often portrayed as the emotional one thanks to Spock being over here. Okay. All right. Anyway, Spock's great, but it's wise mind that usually wins and gets the laughs in the end, okay? And then I've also drawn a picture of one of my favorite types of birds here. This is a raven, and very similar to the crows as well. And I like both of them, and blue jays and bluebirds and all kinds of creatures like my dog that's laying over here, Chewbacca, Noodle. So that's a reminder about your soul. And if you talk to birds and you watch them, you watch that they kind of share a common soul. Like when there's food, they'll be eating it, but they'll also be like, call out to the rest of the flock to get over here. There's some food over here. That's worth it. And that's a pretty cool thing to remember. It's like I'm big into community. So I've also added soul is all. And that's for people who, I've met people who say like, well, I don't believe in the soul. And I go, well, do you believe in community? Do you believe that we're all sharing this world? And they're like, sort of, or we should, you know. And then I say, well, that's what I mean. Soul is all of us together as a community. Oh, and then yesterday, my son was playing with this rock, and he asked me about this rock, and I believe it's a beautiful rock that a friend gave me, and she said it was a money rock. And he said, well, why don't you have any money? And I was like, well, I think it's not done blooming yet. And then he was kind of teasing me about that, and so I went on YouTube to find a spell for money, and I found it, and I did the thing. But here's the little note on how to do it. And you just put your name in the middle, okay? Your name, your name, your name 3 times. And while you're doing it, you just remember what money feels like in your hand. Like think of when you're counting it and stuff. And then you write around. You write, it happened impossibly fast. Whatever I spent came back times 3. It happened overnight, it happened overnight, it happened overnight. Just do things in threes, it's quite nice. And then you're supposed to fold it in 3, and you can burn it while repeating the phrase. You can put your name there, or you can just leave it your name, which I like. If you are just looking to call to the higher echelons, that's a common way I think that spells are done in some churches, where they're like in His name or in God's name. So you could write that. Whatever you want to. So that's what I have right now in my in my captain's log, since we were talking about Star Trek. And perhaps we are all little star seeds inside of a little human host here. That could be. So, I was going to talk about the coffees. This is the second coffee, and it's perfect temperature. It's in a teacup or mug, because it was the second one I got, and I forgot that the clean coffee mugs were in the dishwasher, right? So I just grabbed the tea mug, and when I got to the table, I was like, and she already had a coffee. So now I have 2. So instead of it being black coffee and taro, it's 2 cups of black coffee and taro. And thanks to the microphone being turned down, I still have to keep it like nudged against my lips. So I'm looking over here at my tarot cards, which I don't know if you can see them in the video, because it's far away. But I'm going to pick one here for 2 cups of black tarot. Seems like we should start with the crows, because that already came up, right? So let's get the cordids in here. Corrado, that's what it says on there. I think those kind of birds are called cordids or something like that. Maybe it is corrado. What do I know? Not very much. So thanks to AI, I can learn anything for a brief moment till I forget. Ooh, let's do opposite tarots too. I reached that without even thinking. And I like the little one and maybe the world one. This labyrinth deck, by the way, has become the deck of the world. Okay, so when I use this is all of us. This is the collective. And that's somewhat coincidentally because the pictures are more difficult for me to get a reading on for my stories. So it seems like we should start with the Tarot of Oppositions. Let's tilt this microphone down for me. I have pre-shuffled these a few days ago, just so I wouldn't do that worry part. And I'm just gonna like sort of put them through my hands here and see what falls out today, because today is 2 cups of black coffee. Good morning or afternoon or evening. That's a lot, but I guess we're gonna take them all. You saw them, how they wanted to come out. All right. Excuse me, I have this lingering cough. All right, so we have 2 of Swords came out. It's in the upright. This is as I said, this is a deck of opposites. So we've got 2 of Swords, full moon in the upright. You may not know, but recently we had the Capricorn full moon, the second one this year. And I'm a Capricorn, so that was lovely. And you can see this person here in the 2 of Swords is sitting patiently in the full moon with the sword there. And if you look on the opposite side, we've got the soldier who's looking at the sword with the red flag flying, and he's gazing at a tree. Now, to me, that kind of means he's like, what is this tree doing in this devastating place? I want to go home. And she's saying, home is here. Come here. Okay? And then I've got the Chariot came out, and that did come out in the upright. So we've got an awesome chariot with 2 lions, and the guy driving is, dude, he's got this great red cloak. You know, he's like holding his arms. Like, it could be Thor, you know, but he's got this. Maybe too much coffee. It's making my hand shake. He's got, excuse me. He's got a staff in his hand, and he has like a glowing star over his head. And on the flip side, we see that he doesn't know where he's going. So in this case, he's looking straight ahead. He does know where he's going, and so there we go. She's calling to him. He knows where he's going, and he's heading. Then we had the Seven of Swords in the upright. Again, we see swords. Now, again, swords, some of these times I get confused because they mean various things to various people. A lot of people like thoughts, but as you saw, I kind of wrote in my book the three things. I like to break things into threes. So we've got heart, mind, and soul. And I know we have 4 suits. And because one of them, money, is made up, they're all made up. But anyway, that's about things you have. So I get bamboozled, perhaps, by the 4 swords when I'm kind of set in threes. And here we have 3, so I like to see just 3 swords. Obviously, there's another half a sword in the middle here. I don't know why I say obviously, but that's because of numbers. So to add up to 7, we got to have 7 swords. But we have 3 here that someone's reaching for, because they're going to be ready, versus underneath where the swords are chained. Okay, so running forward, reaching the sword, and which has revealed the King of Cups, but he's in reverse. He's holding his cup up close to himself, and he's got a greedy hand and a greedy face. And on the other side, we have the king who's calmly watching. So it's like perhaps a call to see what kind of king you're being, whoever is the king. And we've got 8 of Pentacles, also in reverse. So you can see that the work being done is overkill. We're down here carefully making pentacles, which is just things in the world. I don't mean to say that money doesn't exist, but because entropy exists, it's just a representation of money. You can even see that he's drawing pictures, all right? Or person drawing pictures. Sorry, I had a little globby in there. And then, this is interesting. In my hand, the moon is on top, and so I'm going to take it that way. It is in the upright. In the distance, there's a tower, and the dog is here. The wolf is here, probably howling at that moon in the distance. Underneath, we've got, at first I thought it was a panther, but I think it's a black dog, and he's running the other way, and the tower is cracked and falling. Okay, so this came in the upright, and that's a call to, like, you know, to arms, kind of, if you will. And then the 6 of Swords, and it's in the upright. So taking that in combination with all the other swords here, we're getting a call for action. If you know you've been on this dark side, you've been uncertain about what's right before your eyes, flip it up. Observe and call for justice, call for the Chariot, send, unleash the swords, send them out, make the action, gather, because the action is this upright call of arms, because some kind of person is coming for this tower, right? They've been forging the money. That to me sounds like sort of how these economies work that I don't understand. How used to be in the old back times, you got your milk and your cheese for a decent price, and now we can't really afford that. That's luxury. And so then we have just nothing but like a circus. If anyone's familiar with bread and circus, you have to do both. And if you don't let people have bread with their circus, then they start to wonder what the circus is about. Like, why this circus? Why am I looking at these shadows on the wall? For those who don't know, the cave thing, it's a bunch of people in a cave watching shadows on the wall, and then someone goes, what's with the shadows? And they notice someone's making them, then they walk out of the cave, and they see the real sun. And they go, whoa, I want to go out there. And but they're like, well, but I want my friends to come. So they go back and try to tell their friends, and their friends are like watching shadows on the wall. That don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. So they go out of the cave and they get a sunburn. They run away. All right. So let's get into this one. This is the chordads. And again, already shuffled. Who's on the bottom here? Queen of Cups. Ooh, and she is looking fierce. Let's see. Oh, again, a bunch fell out, just ready to go. Wow. Okay, so Four of Swords, which is a very restful card for swords. It's sort of like when you've been through it and it's time to just rest and look around and meditate and then wake up. Okay. Then we've got the Magician here. And remember, the Magician is wonderful. It's a good time when you learn you have magic. But just be careful of all the allure of what you can do with it. And here we have our King of Swords. And with all the swords that we've had, this is really important because he's ready to go. The birds have come and given the message. And he's gonna, well, this is where we've got that chariot. And you guys, the wheel's here. It's time to turn. He's saying turn that wheel. And then we've got the Five of Swords, which is the swordsman. And he's ready. The birds have called to him, and the king has called to him, and the magician is sending the birds, and you've got him, and he's ready. And I'm going to look, because this is Roman numeral IX, which I wish I had written over there, but I believe it's 9, which is the hermit, and I thought so. And this is a dude here. He's got his beard, and he's got his cloak on. The raven is in the cage, showing his kind of need for the raven at this moment. And the raven, doesn't like to be in a cage, but he understands that he's with the hermit right now, and they've got to communicate with these other birds and organize everything. All right, sort of like that swords we had here. Doo-doo. And then we've got, this is the Knight of Clubs, and he loves to party. The Knight of Clubs, he's always at the clubs. He comes right in with his club raised, okay, and he's always ready, and I'm not going to take any of that back because it was funny, and it's appropriate. That is the Knight of Clubs. So if you're out in the clubs partying with your thing ready, hear the call. You got it, just like everybody else. You see him looking. He's got the moon in there, and he's like, "Oh, it's a good thing I was ready. I got my club here." Your wand, for those who don't play poker. Where did that come from? I don't. I'm not good. I'm like the seer or whatever. I just give everything away and say what's going on, and it's try to get everybody to put everything in so we can go do something else. Anyway, these are. Oh, I thought. Oh, guys, we're doing a new thing here. So these are cards I never use because I don't know what they mean. I know nothing. They came with no book, and I got them on a website. They're probably not original, and I'm sorry about that. I'm poor. I mean, I work, but also all of it goes to bread and circus and coffee. This has gotten a little bit too cold. And it reminds me of how I heard Stone Cold Steve Austin got his name, because he was sitting with his wife and they were discussing names, and she took a drink of her coffee. This is how I heard it anyway. And she was like, maybe it was Austin himself, but one of them, they said, "That's Stone Cold." And the other one was like, Stone Cold, that's it. And then they agreed. It could have just been Stone Cold said, Stone Cold coffee, I'm still, and he started cutting a promo, I don't know, but this coffee is, rock cool. That's a wrestling pun. Wrestling pun. Don't pretend like you don't know about wrestling. You do. Okay, so I'm going to see if anything comes out with these cards, but I'm not going to be able to tell you anything about them. So this might be a time where you're going to have an assignment to go on the internet, the interwebs, and you ask, what is an orchid? Orchid. An orchard is a place where fruit or apples is grown, but this is an orchid priestess of destiny. And she is looking fine. She's got a flute. She's got her hair done. She's got like flowing garments, and she looks really cool. So for anyone who relates to this card, please find out who you are and what the orchid priestess of destiny is telling you. She's, if you're that knight of wands at the club life, you gotta know. Oh, Amaryllislude. The Amaryllislude? I'm sorry, I don't know languages. Even my own. But she's also like looking fine. She's got some kind of lute here. I don't mean like treasure. I mean she's got a guitar and she's playing that. So we got the flute and the guitar going on there. Nice. We got a band. Tune up the band. Sisters of the Rising Sun. Oh, wow. And there's 4 of them. All right. I have more than 4 sisters, but we got the OGs. We're 4. And we're exennials, for anyone who cares about the distinction. So we often just speak in movies and songs. If you're in the generational identification. Sound of the Fierce Flute. Oh, so this is Sound the Fierce Flute and Sisters of the Sun Rising. And also this lute, the Amaryllis lute. So we've got the Orchid Priestess playing the flute. We've got the Amaryllis playing the lute. And the Sisters of the Rising Sun doing the percussion, I assume. And then we have the Sound of the Fierce Flute, which would be like the one playing the lead flute. Okay, so we have 2 flutes, a flute, and the Rising Sun. And that sounds like a really great band. So have fun with that assignment. All right, what I thought I was doing was this one, which is also a cards I know nothing about, and I like to just say nice things about them when they come up, like the stars. Oh my God, you guys, this girl band that I've got here, they are the stars. If we can just, I'm kind of one of the Sisters of the Rising Sun here myself, but I'm looking for an orchid princess and with some fierce flute skills and a lutist. Not someone who lutes, but someone who plays the stringed kinds, right? So we got the blow kind and the string kind. And then we're going to play that fierce flute, I'm one of these sisters, so I either like got to sing or do that kind of thing, But I can also just listen. Ooh, the scythe. The scathe? Ooh, scathing. So this scythe here, that's a harvester, that's a reaper. So I'm reminded of that song, Don't Fear the Reaper. So just reap what you sow, right? Ooh, reap what you sow. Clover, lucky. I have a friend who can see 4-leaf clovers. Like, she is, shout out, badass, okay? Not for children. She's for children. She's great. She can just look at clovers and she's like, there it is. And she just gets it. Lucky. Amazing. All right, let's see what else we can add to our band today. There's a tarot reader that I love. She's always like, the band and I. Oh, I just get excited when her messages come up. So, choices here. Lots of ways, lots of choices, guys. Lots of choices. That's green. That matches the luck card. All right. I want a sip of coffee. So I saw lies right away, but it's actually lilies. And birds. What was I saying earlier? Birds. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word, a word, a word, word, word. Bird is a word, da 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 da. Bird is a word, a ba bum bum bum. Bird is a word, a ba bum bum. Bird is a word. Have you heard about the word? All right. So now, on to the world message. This is a message for everyone, even if you don't see this video. But for all my fam who watch, and it was 20 people last video, I love that. Because I think, for those of you who I don't know, are into this as a big thing, I understand that's not a lot, but that's my good friends and family giving me a chance and a click, you know? I mean, someone who misses my face and was like, I miss your face and your voice, and I'm going to put it on. Love you. And I know, the top 3 of you that click on everything. And I love you, obviously the most, but I love everyone who clicks on it or doesn't it. Oh, the moon again, y'all. Okay, so the moon's all over this. Some of y'all doing things deceptively, okay? You're doing it by the cover of the moon, and you're forgetting what the moon is. Some of y'all think the moon is a peach with a worm in it, okay? Some of y'all looking at that worm and that peach, and you're like, that's mine and has nothing to do with anything. But you know what the moon is? It's a reflection of the sun. This is the sun, and it came out afterwards. In the movie The Labyrinth, you have the boy and the mean look at the sun, but the boy is smiling because he's the sun. You remind me of the child. What child? Child of voodoo. Hoodoo. You remind me of the girl. I don't even know the lyrics anymore. And the fool. Oh, she's in the labyrinth. The fool has come in, guys. This is amazing. So remember, fool, don't be fooled by the moonlight. The moonlight is just the sunshine at night. Know where your light's coming from. Who's this? Ooh, the Hanged Man. Ooh, do you remember him? This is clearly a critique of the movie. It's a great movie, but, smell bad. And now we're going to have a bunch of boops and bobbles here. So I'm not going to tell you what they mean because it looks like we got 4 sticks. That's a celebration, even in Labyrinth. And we've got the High Priestess. We're ready for battle. Remember, Labyrinth was a fight to get the sun back. And Fate's here with us. And we've got all our baubles and our boops in row. We're ready. Anything else want to come out today? Onto the game board. Anyone? I know you can't be watching right now because I film these live, but you have to have a lot of people wanting to watch you to do lives on YouTube, and I'm fine with that. I barely literate enough to know how to put this thing on. As you see me stumbling around, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to admit it. I broke my glasses and I can't see. Some of y'all just wearing broken glasses or someone else's prescription and you're just not admitting it. Well, I'm here to say I broke my glasses. I can't see. 2 pots, you guys. It's amazing. 2 pots, one has a lid on it. We have the dancers. Ooh, the dancers. That is the lovers in this card. And 10 wands. I'm just going to end it right there. 10 wands. You know what that means. It's 10 of them. Start a fire. Ooh, song came up. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning. The world was turning. We didn't start the fire. Keep that fire going, y'all. Fight for it. Let's make the world a better place. You know? Let's make the world a better place. I love all of you. The wanderer, the one that just clicked for a second, anyone who isn't even here that knows how much I love them. And I hope I can see you again soon. I'm going to warm up these coffees and try to get up the courage to clean the kitchen. Love you. I love you all. Goodbye, goodbye. Which button? Let's guess this one. No? This one? No? Am I even recording? No one knows.